Good morning, my dear students. Students, welcome back to another new class of Bringing Up Kari. So, students, in our last class, we have started the textual grammar, that is, modal verbs. Now, students, before proceeding towards our today's topic of discussion, at first, let me give you a short details on whatever we have discussed in our last class. So, it will help you to remember whatever we have read yesterday, and it will also help you to understand the next points more clearly. So, students, at first we got to know that modal verbs are the auxiliary verbs used to express the tone or mood of the speaker or sentence. And some of the modal verbs are can, could, will, would, should, may, might, and must. And after that, student, we also had a detailed class on the first two modal verbs, which are can and could. So from that class we got to know that can used to express ability, to request a permission, and has been used for a suggestion. On the other hand, could is used to ask for permission but in a more polite tone, to express ability, and to express ability as the past tense of can. So this much we have discussed in our last class, students. Now let's proceed our today's topic of discussion, that is the next modal verbs. And our first modal verb for today's class is will. So student, to understand the uses of will, here I have included two examples. Let me read out for all of you the examples at first. Number 1, I will go to the market tomorrow. Number B, I will run 1000 meters today. So here, student, in the first sentence, the modal verb will, it is showing a future action. As you all know that in future we use the verbs shall and will. So here it is simply signifying a future action, means it is a sentence of a simple future tense. Now let's come to the second sentence. So students, the second sentence, I will run 1000 meters today. Here the modal verb will, it is showing an intention. So whenever you have strong intention or will to do something, that you will surely do this, in such a case you will be used the modal verb will. So these are the two uses of modal verb will, which are future action and to show intentions. Then let's come to the next modal verb, that is would. So again, to understand would, I have included three examples. First one is, would you like to join me for dinner? Number 2, Tina said she would report the matter to the principal the next day. And number C, if I were you, I would not be rude. So the first sentence, would you like to join me for dinner? Here, student, the modal verb would, it is showing a request or offer, but in a very polite tone. Okay, students, it means whenever you are need to ask, do a request or offer to someone in a polite tone, you have to use would. Then come number B. Tina said she would report the matter to the principal the next day. Here, student, the modal verb would, here it is only used as a past tense of will. Okay, it is very simple. You always know that the past tense of will is would, and here it is simply used as a past tense. Okay, now come to the next sentence. If I were you, I would not be rude. So students, whenever you get certain sentences that starts with if, okay, in such sentences you have to write down would. Okay, means future tense and the sentence starts with if. In such case you have to use the modal verb would. So these are the three uses of the modal verb would. Now let's proceed to the next modal verb, which is should. Number 1, you should try the raspberry ice cream. And number B, you should stop being rude. Here, student, the first sentence, here the modal verb should, it is giving an advice. Okay, students, means whenever you are going to give someone an advice, you have to use the modal verb should. Then the next sentence, you should stop being rude. So students, here the modal verb should, it is showing a responsibility. Means students, here the speaker is asking someone to be more responsible and to stop being rude. Okay, so two senses mainly described by the modal verb should. First one is to give advice and the second one is to show responsibility. So student, for today's class we shall discuss only these three modal verbs. Okay, we are not proceeding further today because students, if we discuss all the modal verbs all together, so in such a case you may get some confusion. So these three will be enough for today's discussion. Now student, till now I have only shown you the uses of these three modal verbs, which are will, would and should, through the sentences or examples only. Now let me show you the exact rules or meanings of these three modal verbs. So the uses of the modal verb will are: number 1, to show future action, and number B, to show intention. Then come to the next modal verb, that is would. So would have three uses and they are: number 1, to request or offer in a very polite tone. Then number B, as a past tense of will. And number C, in if sentences. So students, now let's proceed to the last and the next modal verb, that is should. So the uses of should are: number 1, to give advice, and number 2, to show responsibility. So students, I hope that you all have understood these three modal verbs, and also the previous two modal verbs, and there are no doubts regarding this. But still, student, if any one of you have any doubts in your minds regarding these modal verbs, you can freely ask me in the comment section below, or you can also write me in the mail, the in a mail ID actually, which has been given to you in the upload sheet. So student, this is the end of our today's discussion. Again, we shall meet in tomorrow's class with the discussion on the next or the last three modal verbs. Till now, student, thank you so much for watching the video.